What is going on, traders, and welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. I'm glad to have you. Now in this video, we're going to be going over my watch list for the trading week of February 28th, 2022. Let's get to it. All right, so here's the earnings calendar for this upcoming week. There's quite a few tickers on this list that could move up or down nicely based on what they report. Now, whether it's going to be bullish or bearish, I wasn't really confident on any of these, but there are quite a few that I will be watching and will play what I see afterwards. That's going to include Lucid, Zoom, SoFi, Snowflake, and Costco. All right, on the personal side, I will be watching Hewlett Packard, ticker symbol HPQ, that reports on March 28th, and the one that I hold shares in, which is ticker symbol HPE, that reports on March 1st. Now, if this one drops to 1350 or lower, I will be adding to my current position. All right. And with that, let's go ahead and take a look at this week's watch list. All right, first up is Lucid, ticker symbol LCID. Now here I have Lucid pulled up on the daily chart. And once upon a time, Lucid used to be a stock that would move $6, $8, or even $10 in a day. We've slowed down quite a bit since then, and now the average is around $2 a day. So that's why, at least to the downside, I have so many levels that could act as support according to my charting. Now, Lucid has earnings after hours on Monday, and it's all going to be dependent on, how many cars they delivered and how many they produced and their forward guidance. Now, if any of these levels or any of these numbers fall short of what analysts expect, I'm looking for Lucid to drop. And if it does drop, it has quite a few levels that I'm going to be watching. All right. So if it drops initially down to around $21, then it has quite a few levels after that it could drop. So take a note of these levels to the downside. Now on the opposite side of that, if Lucid has good earnings, then it could really take off because there are some shorts in this stock and it could squeeze nicely higher. I really don't expect that to happen, especially what the world climate is right now, but you never know what could happen. So keep Lucid on your watch list and watch all of these levels if you like this stock. All right, up next is Zoom Video, ticker symbol ZM. Now here I have Zoom pulled up on the daily chart, and right here, this is October of 2020, where Zoom hit an all-time high of around $588. It's sold off quite a bit since then. All right. Now, what's important to note is that every single earnings that you see on this chart, Zoom has beat analyst estimates. Okay. So this is not a bad company, but this highlighted area right here that I have, this is all pandemic stuff right here. So it got this exponential rise all the way up here, and around here is where they announced when vaccines were coming out and that the end of the stay-at-home times were coming to an end, and that's when it sold off. So prior to the pandemic, Zoom was in this range right here. So what I'm feeling is that Zoom belongs between $130 and $175 for normal growth, and it could just inch higher with good earnings after that. But for right now, it's around where it was prior to the pandemic. Okay. Now, if Zoom beats earnings again, I'm looking for Zoom to pop up a little bit more to maybe around $150. And if they have bad earnings for whatever reason it decides it wants to sell off, I'll be watching it to drop down to around $100. Okay. So keep Zoom on your watch list and just understand, from what I see, Zoom does not look like a bad company. All right. It just got an exponential rise, and then it sold off when the pandemic was coming to an end. All right, up next is Nvidia, ticker symbol NVDA. Now on Saturday, Nvidia reported that their internal systems were compromised and a lot of data was stolen. On Sunday, today, the hackers that hacked them reported that Nvidia got into their system, encrypted all of the stolen data, and got out. Now, I thought that was kind of funny, so I'm not sure if this is going to affect the stock, but either way, let's go ahead and take a look at the chart. All right, so here we have Nvidia on the 15-minute chart, and like I mentioned, I'm not sure how this hacking and re-hacking news will affect Nvidia. If anything, it'll be funny if they get a pat on the back and the stock runs because of it. But either way, Just watch what the QQQ and the overall market sentiment is and just play it accordingly. Now, if the market is bullish next week, I'm looking for Nvidia to come up and test around $260. If the market is bearish or some more news come out about this conflict in Europe, then I'm looking for Nvidia to come down to around 230. If it can't hold 230, 223.50. If it can't hold that, around 221. If it can't hold 221 and the market is just crazy selling off, all the way down to around 209. So keep these levels on your watch list and play what you see. Okay, real quick, we're going to go over a couple of requests that I got through Twitter. The first one's going to be Block, ticker symbol SQ. Now here I have it pulled up on the weekly chart right here, and you can see last week Block had a great week, pushing up from around $83.50 up to $120. Now that momentum can continue because you see all of these red candles here. These are some possible shorts in here that they could get squeezed out, and this could push up to around $140. Now if the market is just low volume or regular volume, it could just come up and test around $127. Now if the market is bearish next week, look for the down levels to around 115 and 106. All right, and the last one we're going to take a look at is ROKU, ticker symbol ROKU. Now here I have ROKU zoomed in on the 4-hour chart so you can see this gap fill area right here in gray. Now ROKU had a very strong support level around $100 that it bounced off of, and it just continued moving up from there. Now next week, if ROKU cannot hold $136, look for it to come down and test around $125. Now if ROKU is bullish next week, look for it to come up and test the top of this gap fill around $143.50. Now if it pushes through that, the next level is going to be around $145.50. All right, so keep this one on your watch list. All right, and that is the end of the video. If you found value, please smash that like button and consider subscribing. Here's wishing you a prosperous week of trading, and until next week, talk to you later.